Well, guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So it is currently just before 8:30 on a Wednesday morning, 9th of February. Okay, just going to share the screen and we're going to talk about a couple of things. First of all, there we are. So 9th of February, this is just to give everybody an update on how the fire trades are doing. Some of that call into the group. Okay, since the Xmas break, still got a few running. Got a total of 900 pips, which is fantastic. These are just general directional bias trade ideas that I pump into the group. Okay, some of them at the moment, I've got the 20 and the 40 pip maneuver here. This is just starting to come into profit now. I've got the NZD card, it's pushing up towards the 40 pip area. I've got the GBP card again, pushing up towards the 40 pip area. And then I've got gold, which again, it's bounced between the 30-60 pip, and then we've got 150 pips on the top. Okay, now the Discord channel, this is just a few bits of homework, housework, I should say, to get this out of the way with, and then we're going to go on to the charts. Okay, and then I'm going to show you a few things that I do. So just go on to here. Now, let's see, advanced charts. We're going to be going over the fire levels, okay, what they are, what they're about, and how we can trade them. So that's what this video is about today. For those of you that are not inside the Discord, you just need to comment below on this YouTube channel, and I'll get you inside of there. Some great bits of educational, informational sort of stuff with chart layups as well. For those that are not inside the fire trades at the moment, you can see on here where I call everything. It's really active. I do this on a day-to-day basis, generally Monday to Thursday at the moment, and we've been catching some really good pips. If you want to join and you're inside the Discord, you just click on the top left here where it says join the fire trades. Okay, the harmonics is something else that's coming soon. And there'll also be a link for this. If you're not in the Discord, there'll be a link for this inside of the YouTube just down below. Okay, at the moment, guys, we have a very active and engaging community, which I thank everybody for. Everybody say morning, hello. We've got intermediate chats, beginner chats. I roll in the announcements every now and again. And for most of you that don't know that are watching this on the YouTube, I actually passed using the fire trades setups that I send out. I passed the FTMO first phase challenge on this. So this happened just yesterday. Overall, we've got 464 members in here now. It says 471, but the 7 bots which help me run this, as well to the mods as well. The mods do an absolutely amazing job to help me build what we've got in here. It's just gone strength to strength. And again, guys, you can see it's very highly engaging. Okay, so what we're going to do today, I'm just going to sort of go on to here, and we're going to have a look at how I generally sort of set up the trades, okay, or how I set up the deal looking at the charts. Okay, so just going to have a look at GBP USD, Euro USD. Is there anything on here that I haven't got marked up at the moment? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Euro, GPY is on there. USD cards on there. Euro GPY. Let's go on the Euro GPY. We'll start this from the beginning because I don't think there's a thing set on here. Right. So, guys, get my handsome face a little bit bigger, and please follow along, take notes. It's important you take notes on these things, right? So on the top, you've got the bar, you've got the candles here, and you've got the line. We're going to switch to a line. Okay, you're going to go to a monthly. Now, this is like, you know, when you get your smart money trading, things like that, you do top-down analysis. This is a bit similar to that, but what you're doing is you're putting in your support and a resistance line based upon an actual turning point. Okay, and it just makes it a little bit more smarter way of trading, if that makes sense, rather than putting your support and resistance on the 5-minute areas, because on the 5-minute areas, you're going to get a lot of twists and turns. Whereas if you build this from the top down analysis, you got turning points on the monthly, weekly, and daily, and then we work it from there. So when it gets to these points, we know there's a high probability it's going to turn on these key areas, you know. So with that being said, you're going to go to the monthly, you're going to go and put on the vertical line, and then you're going to go to around about 2 years ago, okay? So we're going to go around about December, I would normally do December the 1st, okay? And then highlight in. And like I say, I hope you're taking notes. Take notes, as many as you can. We'll go to the horizontal line. Oh, you're wondering how I've got this on here, okay? All it is any instrumental or any instrument I pick on here, I'm putting a star, okay? So on the end, you've got trend line, star, okay? Highlight the star, it puts it in a favorite on here, and it puts it in a toolbar, one that you would use all the time, so to speak. So we're going to go to the first areas, and we're going to put it on a 1px, and we're going to put it on the thick line, and we're going to have the first ones in red, okay? So turning points, you can see we're coming up with a turning point at the moment. There's a turning point there, and this is so simple to set up. You could do this on a Saturday or a Sunday, ready for the next week ahead. And again, when I'm doing this, it looks as if it's going to be really busy, but you're doing a very, very large top-down analysis from a 2-year aspect. Okay, but once you get down to the daily, we sort of break it down to the candle the day before. So that's the monthly setup, okay? Now, what you can also do as well, you can generally go on here, just for added extra, you could put on here, let's see, monthly, okay? You don't have to do it, but if you're wanting to be visual, it just helps you, okay? But generally, the key codes, I know what my colors are, and I know what they are, in fairness, okay? So that's the monthly. We're going to go down to the weekly now. You'll see it starts opening up a bit. So on this instance, we're going to make these ones orange, okay? And there'll be a few more to add on here, and this is where it starts looking a bit busy, okay? So we've got orange, and they need to be on the key turning points. And while you're doing this, you think, well, it looks a little too much, but trust me when I say this, once you drill it down, it makes perfect sense why. There's a key turning point there. Just class that as 1. And if you're following this on Discord, please use the advanced chat area to put any sort of questions or queries. If you're watching this on YouTube, please put any questions in there. So that's your weekly, okay? Now, we're just having a quick look, quick spy about. Yeah, it's looked pretty tidy to me. Now we'll go down to the daily. Now it's going to start getting a lot messier, okay? So what you do when you go down to the daily, you're going to go over to where you were 2 years ago. Don't worry, the reason why we've done this on the monthly and the weekly, it's because you've got lines of area that it's supporting on here as well, okay? So you're going to be moving this over, and now you need it to be within the last few months. So I would generally go to December, okay? So it's December of 2020, okay? And then I will go to the 21st of December 21 on this part, okay? And then again, magnify in, go to the lock here, so it locks all drawings, so you can't move none of these lines if you're doing this. And then what we're looking at is the daily, okay? And I'm just going to rock this up. I was doing this as yellow, but the yellow doesn't show up as well on the area. So now I've been doing these ones as black, okay? So the daily I would do is black. And they've got to be key turning points. Go on there. on there. And then what we'll do, we're going to set this up, and then again, I'm going to go on to something else in a minute, and then I'm going to show you throughout the day how I would sort of look at these and trade from these areas, okay? So I think that's enough for now. Now, generally, when you go and put this back on the candles, you'll see, open this up, you'll see just how it's respecting these areas, okay? Now, we're on the daily, okay? When you're on the daily, this is the next step. This bit's important, okay? You're going to be doing the wick of the candle, okay? And we want this to be blue, okay? We'll do it as blue. You want to do the daily low, so it's the daily high, the daily low. So you know you're working within a range of that area, okay? And then you come to the open and close of the candle body, and you want this to be as a dashed line, okay? So now you've got a range you're working in. Now this will become completely clear in a moment. From there, you're going to get your fibs, and you're going from the daily low to the daily high, and you want to have the fib levels, and you want it where you're going to get a 50% area. So I've got one called an IP here, which is just basically a 0.5, okay? So if I click OK, you can see on here, this is the 0.5 line. You see that there? And as you can see already, it's near a key turning point, okay? So what we're doing is we'll do that one right on the 50%, but we're going to make this one a different color. So we're going to make this a purple, and we're going to distinguish it by calling it a dotted line, and we're going to make it a 3, okay? So from there, that's generally it that we're looking at, okay? That's what we're looking at. Now, what happens is we are working upon a 5-minute and a 15-minute entry. So we go to 15 minutes, and you can see this was the daily, okay? You see how much it's spent time-wise in here on the daily? It's worked between the parameters, okay? So from there, what we're looking at is when we get a breakout, okay? When we get a breakout, we're looking for the next key level to trade to. Stop loss is generally above the other key area, okay? So what I want to do, I want to go on to some of the other pairs that I do, okay? We'll go GBP USD, and I'm going to go to the daily. And you can see I've got the what is black. I've now got it in yellow from the other day. I found black works better for me, to be fair. So I'm just going to delete this information off, because this was the daily candle from the other day, okay? Right, so I've still got my key levels. I've got them locked in, but now I'm working upon this candle here now. I was working upon this one the other day. Now I'm working upon this candle as a zone. So we've got a high. Let's put down to that and put it as a line. We've got the low, okay? We've then got the body. And this is a perfect example of what I'm going to talk about in a minute as well. Got the body, and again, make it a dashed line. Got the body, dashed line. Oh, dashed line. And then we need to work that 50%, remember, so it's from the wick to the wick. And you can see that the 50% is, look at this as well, more or less on the monthly of this, and it's more or less on the open of the candle, you see. So this is just highlighting, it's giving you extra confluence on just how important these areas are and how they can become turning points. So that's going to be on there. We need it to be purple. We need it to be dotted. and I needed that a little bit thicker. Okay. Right. So that's the area for that there, just for that one that we can trade now. What I'm going to do is I'll do another one, and then we'll start looking for some trades in a moment. So again, if I work from the top down, so I want the Euro USD, go back on the monthly. Okay, so if I highlight in, get rid of yesterday's area, okay. And because we're on the daily, again, there's the high. Make sure it's on the blue, then get the low. And we're stuck within that range there, as you can see at the minute. We'll then, and what I'll do after I've done this one, I'll pause the video so I can set the rest up, and then we'll come back. And then what I can do is I can start looking at taking some trades with you on this session today live. Yesterday, I had a really good session, to be fair. Taking small lot sizes and things like that. I took about 60, 70 quid profit scalping these. So again, we look 50%. It's just right at the open. So we want that purple. We want it dotted. I want it on 3. Okay, so we've got a double line there. Right, and stop the share. Right, so yeah, so that's the preference on how we sort of set up the charts. Take notes, look back on the video. If you get stuck, use the comment section in the YouTube, but also use the Discord advanced chat area, okay? I'm going to pause the video. I'll be back in a moment, just while I set the rest of my charts up for the day on the ones that I was sort of trading yesterday. It just allows me to move that daily candle zone to the new one for today. Excuse me, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. It just means I can sort of work from other parameters as well. So I'll pause the video and I will be back in a moment. Hi guys, so now we're back again. I've just set up the things. You just bear with us. I just need to get my camera in display. Let's have a look. There we are. So I'm just going to share the screen. And we'll start getting into some nuts and bolts. Right, so for most of you that have not followed this, Pepperstone are now on TradingView, okay? I generally trade 2 live accounts on Pepperstone, as well as now at the moment a demo account on Pepperstone on TradingView, because I don't know how it sort of reacts. I just need to get used to trading straight from the TradingView, if that makes sense. And I was doing that yesterday. My demo account on that, I'm not going to show you the live accounts, but my demo account on that, we ended up around about 50 pounds in profit, to be fair, on the trades, as you can see on here. Okay. With that being said, I also do funded accounts. I've got 3. I'm trading the bootcamp on Fivers with 3 100k accounts, in the process of trading a 10k second phase, which I'm waiting to come through on FTMO. And I've also got another funded account which is live, which is around about the 10k. So I'm pretty consistent with the stuff that I do. From there, again, the paper trading side of TradingView, you can simply just log on. Okay, you can, if you log out of this, you log out. Okay, when you log out of this, you've got to connect Pepperstone. Okay, so I connected my Pepperstone, and then what happens is it'll ask you to log into your Pepperstone account. I logged into my account this way, and then what happens is, let's take a look, approve access. And then it brings it up and it'll give you the options to go on your live account, a demo account. Now, when you do that, if you set up a new account each time on Pepperstone, okay, it won't automatically show on this. Okay, so I'll stress that again before we get into the trading. When you set up a new trading account via Pepperstone, you want to sort of trade via the TradingView. you have to log out of your trading view and then re-log in, so it communicates with Pepperstone, and then it applies the new account on there. Then those will come to your drop-down menu. Okay, so those of you that want to sort of trade, let's have a look. Why is that doing that? For those of you that want to trade directly, okay, on TradingView and want to do it via a demo rather than use the paper trading method, you could go to Pepperstone, log in, request a demo account, okay, and then log into TradingView, go to this side here again, okay. You see me log out, I log out, you connect the paper trading, select Pepperstone as the broker, and then when you do that, it'll ask you to put your login details, and then it'll have it as a demo login on there, okay. So I've got that bit out of the way with. What we're going to do, we're going to have a little look down here. So at the moment, you can see these tabs in green. These are active trades I've got for the guys in the group. Some nice profits on these at the moment. I mean, this is shortly going to head towards another 10 or 12 pips, and that'll have flashed in another 40 pips for the guys. This one again, that one's heading towards it. And I see you need to keep a tab on these as well, guys, because like I say, very active with this sort of stuff. So we're going to have a look at the rundown anyway. Euro USD. Now, what we've got now, when we look at the daily, and I'll go back on this, you see the 20th of December I spoke about, okay? Not interested what's happened back here, because we've done our top-down analysis, which then goes projected into the future, okay? Now, when we go on to what we see at the top-down, okay, we've got the monthly, the weekly, and the daily setups on here, okay? So what we've got here, just to explain, I've got the daily candle set up, okay, and if I just get rid of that, because that was the 50% thing, right? So this is the daily candle here. You can see I marked it up, and you can see I was taking trades from this yesterday with these arrows down. So I've got the daily markup high, daily markup low. I've got the area of open and close on the daily, and then the 50% is bang on where money is at the moment, okay? So when we go down into the 15 minutes and things like that, this is enclosed on that daily candle, okay? So just remember, that daily candle there, when I go to something like the 15 minutes, all of this is within the last 24 hours, okay? So when we come out of an area and we get a return, okay, so we come out here, we come in, got a return, we would then work our way back to the center. That's how it would generally work. If we get a huge push out of an area and then we get a bounce and a return off the outer areas, we would look for the next key levels, whether that's the monthly, the weekly, or the daily, okay? But at the time this is staying, when we look at the daily, I've got no interest in this, in the Euro USD today, or at this stage on this recording, because we're simply just hovering slap bang still in the middle of where we are. It's still early days. I'm going to still be doing my live trading via the demo method, if that makes sense, and see what we'll find a trade later on the day. So we'll just move on to the next. The odd JPY again, we've got the daily on there. We're starting to make a headway. We'll just put this, make sure you always have these locks on, okay, because you're just going to end up moving your key levels. So we can see on here, you can see where I was trading yesterday, in and out of this zone. We're starting to push out, so we go down to a 15 minute. We'll just take a look. So that's the 15-minute chart. Again, we could work one into the center of here. I'm just going to go to a 4 hour, and I'm looking for the general way that this is playing. So what's happening is, just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at this, and then that at the moment. We've got a lot of intermediary price, okay, and we've got this movement to go up to the monthly. Okay, you can see that's where that's working from. So we've got intermediary price working at the moment. So when I've got these swing points on here, I'm just looking at key levels like this high, okay, this low, so we're within the monthly range on here. Okay, so we've come down for a bit of a pullback, and we neither hit the low of the monthly or the high of the monthly. Okay, so then we're looking at key levels within the intermediary price area. Okay, we are on the 4 hour. Again, we are hitting an order block here at the moment. There's an order block right there that we're mitigating into. Okay, so the overall trend based upon that 4 hour, okay, is it's consolidated. Okay, it's consolidated, and we're not, this is the high of the 4 hour. So we're coming up, we've come down, we've come up, we've come down. But as we've sort of, let's just take a look, see if I can explain this a bit better. As we've come up and then we've come down, so you've got your impulse, you've got your correction, you've got the impulse drive, but the impulse drive has been very weak. It's sort of double top, it's mitigated out of the 4 hours here. Okay, but then it started to pull back. So this is sort of telling me on the 4 hour we could be coming back into a downturn. Okay, so we could be coming back into a trend of coming down. Okay, so I would possibly go, like I say, if I go down to the 1 hour, and again we've got the monthly pathway, as you can see. Okay, we've determined on the 4 hour that on this high nothing is surpassing it, and we start to create a return down. Okay, we've had a break of structure from here, we've had like a double bottom on here, and then we've got a lower point here based upon what would have been the 4 hour areas. With that in mind, I'm looking for maybe coming into a sell. So if I go onto the 15-minute, mark this up a little bit more. Okay, looking for a sell. Again, I just need to be wary about what's going on with this at the moment, because we've broken out of the daily. Okay, let's have a look. We've broken out of the daily area. So what I would possibly be anticipating, I would possibly be wanting to set an alert. Okay, now this is where you need to be patient. It's very important to be patient. Yes, we've had a bounce out of here. Okay, but if we've had a bounce out of the daily range, the daily candle, okay, so that's the daily high. This would be the daily open or close area. This is your center point of the previous day 50% candle. We go lower. You've then got your daily open or close here, and then you've got your daily low, daily high, daily low, open and close on the dotted 50%. So we might get one of two things happening. And again, I hope you are taking notes, because these lessons are very, 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 very good on the way of market structure. So we could get a move up. Okay, we'll come towards here. We might get a bounce, and then it might go higher. Okay, so remember, we've done a top-down analysis on this. So you've got your key structure areas from your higher time frames. These, and when I see a support and resistance, a lot of retail trading and things like that. Yes, you can see it's wrong. It's you can't trade that way all the time. This is a smart way of trading retail method, because you have identified on a higher time frame those psychological levels of points of interest where these will become a rejection or a bounce off. Okay, simply because they're very, very strong. The higher time frame holds a lot of weight. So one or two things: we're either going to get the push up, we're going to start meeting the criteria here, bounce down, and then going up to the higher levels, which is up here. Okay, or we're going to get a crash down up here, and then we might start to see that before we get the push back up. Okay, so what I want to do is just go along to here, and you'll see the cursor, you'll see the little plus on the side. I want to set below this candle. Okay, what I want to do is I want to set on the 15-minute below this candle, because if we're going to break structure, I want just before it an alert set. Okay, so if this was to crash back down underneath our key psychological level of the daily high, which is the workable wick, let's just take a look, which is this here, the workable wick, okay? It comes back down to this level here, underneath that psychological level, to work back into the previous daily candle zone area, then I want to be starting to look for a sell. So I'm not gonna pressure myself into buying this at the moment. I will possibly look at getting into a sell. I will wait for that break to see if the alarm comes. If it does, I'll probably start setting some sell limits based upon a 0.10 of this account, and then have some more sell limits based upon that there, and then have the structure of maybe 50% towards the higher zone area, okay, if that makes sense. So we've got an alert one set, that's on the odd JPY. Let's take it back up to the daily and go to the GBP USD, and we'll work down the candles that I've got set up at the moment. So again, yellow is the daily, orange is the weekly, red is the monthly, okay, on this. So if we scroll into what we've got the setup. There's your daily candle, okay. Just to talk you through this, we've got the daily wick high, the daily wick low. We've then got the body open and close on the jagged line. 50% is actually outside of the open close. So there's been some selling pressure, but then the buyers come up. And this is a very indecisive at the moment. There hasn't been much movement from the previous day candles. Again, got psychological level here from a daily turning point aspect. So we may get a push up. At the moment, we are testing the wick high, okay? We're testing the daily wick high. It's actually pushed out. And like I say, key levels, when we got the push out, even on this daily, it's pushed up towards that area of the other daily, okay? So we go down to the 15 minutes. Again, one or two things could be happening here. We've pushed out, we could be getting a test, work its way up to this area, even to this area, okay? We'll just do this, or we're going to get push up, push down, rejection off here, and head back down towards that area. So again, 15 minutes, I'm going to take it down to 5 minutes. And you can see here, it's come in, it's rejected, okay? It's come in, it's rejected off that candle there. So I'm going to take a risk. Should I take a risk? Let's just take a look. I'm just going to see what's going to happen with this candle. We've got a minute 28. I'm going to wait for that candle to close. We'll come to that back in a minute. It's pushing through. I was going to go for a sell on this actually, but it's starting to get strong and push through. Again, the daily candle wick high. That's what the blue is, remember, on this. This is imperative. If we can get this to close underneath here, not so much to form a red candle, I would possibly watch the next one. So I'm going to set an alert on this. I want this to go to here. And again, it's just going to alert me because if we do get the push down below here, I'll possibly try and go for the sell to sort of look for a good 15 to 16 pips. And again, guys, this is just about setting up your ducks, okay? Lining up your ducks. Audio SD. Let's go up to the daily and work our way down from the top down. Again, make sure you've got your lock on so you're not going to move anything. Focus into your daily candle area. You can see in here, daily wick high, daily wick low, body to body open and close, 50% on that line as well, okay? From there, we've clearly had a push up. We're heading towards the weekly. The weekly is the orange. We're heading towards it, the weekly key area. So I'm just going to drop down to 15 minutes, okay? You can see from here, we've come up, we've had the push, and now we're going up to this area. It looks like we've missed the move on this, to be fair. But again, it shows you the significance and the power of this, yeah, okay? So what you can see, we'll get the fib, we'll go from this key level up to this key level. We went up to 50%, it's come down through that 50%, it's bounced off the daily wick high, it's now moving up. We've missed the train on this one, to be fair. So nice 30 pips of movement there. Again, I'm not going to worry. There's always another trade, always another trade. We'll be keeping an eye on that, if I'm honest with you. Again, I want to go to the 4 hour on the euro, on the odd USD. So the 4 hour, we can see we're coming up, coming highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Not quite making a lower low, okay? Again, I can bet your bottom dollar that's nigh on 50%. Look at that, bang on, nearly 50% on the retrace. Could be a reversal to go back to the high areas. And then obviously what you're looking at is these key areas here. You've got your weekly high, which this is now pushing towards. I can more or less guarantee if this was to push and go up through the weekly high, it's going to come up, it's going to bounce off that, and then it's going to go to the next key level. Okay, so that's another thing that we can look at. I think this is going to push up, to be fair. I'm going to set the alert into the key area just above it. So that's a possibility. Go back down to 15 minutes. So I do believe this is going to push up above because it's not creating that strong downtrend. It's starting to reverse on itself. We'll have a look at the JPY. Again, it's still early days, guys. It is only at the moment 9:15. Plenty of time to get in on trades. We just mark up our psychological areas for now. So we're on the daily. Let's focus our attention in. Make sure we've got the lock on blue. We can see on here, daily wick high, daily wick low, body to body, centerpiece. So we've got that checked off. Now we're starting to break through the close. We're starting to break through the close of the previous daily candle. Okay, so again, let's go to, that's the daily. Let's have a look. So on the daily, we've got a lot of consolidation, to be fair. Not breaking the highs of here. GBP USD. Let's have a look, see what's breaking through. 15 minutes. So it's starting to come down on ourselves as we thought. Let's take a look. Consolidated. Right, so I'm going to go for a sell. So I'll put that down. I want to put my stop loss to that psychological level there. I'll put the take profit to here. Okay. Modify that out. I'm just going to let that run. So we were on GPP, JPY, I do believe. Go back to the daily, weekly, daily. Lost my train of thought there. Again, I'm just doing this on demo to mess around with, to be fair. We're getting a push up through the break of candle on here. Okay. Again, on the daily, we can see. You see all these double bottoms on the daily. Nothing really much happening, to be fair. The weekly, let's do the top-down analysis from the weekly. We can see we had a big impulse drive up. Okay. Again, we've got some mega highs up on here from back in 2016. Sideways motion, we've come up. We're at a level at the moment. Okay, and I know this looks busy. You can see at the level at the moment on that daily candle, we are at a high from January 2018. Okay, so it's a very, very resistant level. However, when you factor in other things on this as well, you've got imbalance now between here and here. tiny bit of imbalance on the bottom end. So we've got highs, higher lows, high highs, higher lows, not quite a higher high. Come down to a 4 hour. Very indecisive, this one. I don't really like to trade the GBP, Japanese yen, to be fair. Go down to 1 hour. So highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. And then we're petered out as expected, because back in 2016, 2018, we're now topping towards those high points. Very sort of, what's the word? Resisted area, to be fair. Again, strong trend from here, from an accumulation or distribution. We've come down, testing the consolidated area here. And as you can see, we're working between the zones very well. This one here, I might just leave at the moment. USD JPY. Let's go to the daily. Do same process. Process never changes. Make sure you've got the blue on there. You're identifying your previous day candle, wick high, wick low, body to body, center piece. Okay. Let's take a look. So pretty high on the USD Japanese yen to start with anyway. So high, 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 low. So let's take a look, go down to the 1 hour. Right, so I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to see if I can attack these lower areas. But again, I'm going to have sort of sell limits in here, if that makes sense. I'm going to drop in sell limits. I want to drop in sell limits to, because we've been factoring in here quite a bit. So I just want to go to, I'll put a sell in now. We'll just put that in. We've got that factored in, and we'll put the stop loss just above there of the key area. Okay. I want to work this towards the 50%. So that's that area there. I'm going to put another sell area. Number 10. Okay, so that's that there. Factor that in around about on that candle there. And then I'm going to put one more sell limit. So as most of you will know, my trading, okay, I generally have an entry. Okay, so what I've done here, I'm happy to trade at least a 0.30. Okay, so I've split that down into 0.1 at different areas. Okay, if this was going to be a losing trade, all it means is it's just going to go up and break out of this key level area, and I've just lost what I would have done on one trade. It's just I'm doing it a smarter way, and I'm trading into the drawdown. And as you can see on here, I've got a little bit of profit working at the moment. Okay, so that's the USD JPY, the USD card. Let's take a look again. Same preference, blue. Go to the daily. From there, we're working down. We can see we'll come down on a massive impulse drive down. We're now working from a low, high, low, high, higher high, higher low, sorry, higher high, because it has broken, higher low. Okay, so the daily, we're starting a movement to come back on the trend up. Okay, so this might push up, to be fair, from a daily aspect. However, we're going to be going down to 4 hour. Look at it from a 4 hour aspect. Let's just take a look. Highs, lows, broken structure there. So as soon as we've broken structure from that standpoint, we've got lows, higher high from this point. Okay, we've come down to create a higher low. Okay, we haven't broke the structure here, so again we're coming into a consolidated area. So one or two things could happen on here. We could get the push up, bounce off, and go to a high area, okay, from here, or because we've pushed down, okay, we broke the structure of this. So this was a low, that we broke the structure of the high. We've got a higher high, higher low. It's stuck within a range, so it's stuck within the range still. So your range is between here and here. You need a definitive sort of break of structure. So if it gets a break of structure from this aspect, if you're going to get a break of structure from that aspect, what you're then waiting for is basically, as it pushes out and clears this, it's then possible to do that and then go to this, okay? But again, we're just waiting on an alarm. So I don't know, we'd set the alarm to above that area there. That could be for later in the day. We're on the 4 hour at the moment. Let's go down to 1 hour, see if we can sort of catch something a little bit earlier. Let's take a look, make sure we're on blue because we don't want the things to move. Let's take a look. Take a bit of a risk on this one, okay? We're gonna go for a sell, okay? Again, take profit, stop loss. I'm not bothered about the take profit and stop losses at the moment because I adjust them as well, okay? So we're just gonna highlight that in. We're gonna have the stop loss just above here. Modify that. And we'll have this work towards the 50% of our daily. I think this is going to peter between the two, to be fair. So I've got a limit order there. And finally, the Euro JPY. Again, blue, make sure we've got the target there. Let's go up to the daily. Let's get our focus in on here. We've got daily wick high, daily wick low, body to body open and close 50% of the area. Okay, now you can see on here we have not really moved out of the range. We're coming back down to working into the 50%, so there's nothing really much to look at on this at the moment. So that's it at the moment, guys. Again, just to revisit, we've got the GBP USD 15 minutes. Make sure we're on blue so we're not moving any of the ticks, any of the movements. This looks like it's holding within that. It's holding within that there, you see. So again, let's just take a look. Might move into a bit of profit in a moment. I still think a bias on this is pretty correct. It's come back through. We're going to test this key hold area of the previous wick high. It's going to bounce off this, and then we might work into the 50% again before we get an initial drive later on today. It's still just been the market open of the London session, so we may get a move in quite some time. However, my attention is on here. It's what we call a railroad. So we've had a big drive down on price, a big spike up. So this is making me believe that, yeah, it's took a lot of people out from a respect of a movement of this down bit. We've got the push up. We've had the breaker structure here. Okay, so now I've got an area which I believe we can drive down into take profits. Okay, we'll go down to a 5 minute. And I'm gonna put a buy in here as well. Again, this is a bit risky, to be honest, but I do believe, based upon my experience and what I've done, I'm going to have a buy limit here. So I've got a feel we're going to crash through the take profit area. I want the stop loss around about on that 50% area, okay? And the take profit I want on the daily high, okay? I want on that daily high bit, or just below, okay? So I've got that set. So I'm gonna play from one into the other, if that makes sense. At the moment, the GBP USD, we've got at £1.20, fluctuating between £1 and £1.24 profit. USD, JPY, again, I'm working the sell limits into this. So I'm just going to stop the share, make my hands on my head that a little bit bigger. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at, guys. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis. Not just on that, I work things upon harmonics and I work things upon smart money as well, okay? So I'm going to pause the video. Oh, in fact, let's go back on share screen, so it's going off. Or the JPY. Excuse me. So we're breaking through. We're coming back in. Let's go up to the daily, top down. So there's your wick high, wick low. We've got the body and thingy. We'll work up. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's work out of the area. See on here, you've got lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, and the downtrend. It's continuing. It's continuing up. 15 minutes. I want to see it break this structure. I need to see it break that. Again, let's take a look. Set another alarm, because we've just reanalyzed that. Set another alarm there. And I'll set an alarm there. This might continue up, to be fair. Let's get rid of that trend line from before. Pip movement between that to the weekly is 80 pips. 80 pips. Well, there's a good movement there, to be fair. It's just how much is this going to hold? Because remember, this is the daily wick high, but the 4 hour is showing a continuation of high highs and higher lows, you know. So are we going to get the bounce up or the bounce off from here? Should we risk it for a biscuit? Let's have a look. Go for a buy. We'll go for it. Let's go for it. The trend or the continuations telling us it's a buy, but I thought it might work its way back into here. So we do a 0.10 or to reject it. Why is that? Let's take a look. It's not letting me do it for some reason. I'll do apologize, guys. First time I've come across this. I just need to see why it's doing this. Let's get rid of that. Buy, take profit, stop loss. There we go. So I bought from there. Psychological level, we've got down to here. Okay. Take profit. Go. And then what I'm going to do, guys, okay, because we spoke about coming deeper down into the areas. So we've got some sort of lower highs here. So we've got liquidity here. So we've got a buy here. I'm going to do a buy just from the close of the daily candle. Okay, so let's do a buy here. Again, 0.10. So buy limit there. We've got the stop just here. And I'm going to take a shorter take profit, because what we'll do is we'll make one run to the higher end and we'll just move the stop loss as we're working away. So we've got 3 trades there at the moment. Okay, a couple of them in just in a little bit of profit. One's in drawdown, and I'll come back to you in a short while. Okay, so this is just showing you what I do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I'll pause the share and we'll be back in a short while. Hey guys, so now we're about just over an hour or so from when I first started this. It's around about 10:10. I'll just share the screen there just so I can show you. 5:10 now on the 9th of February. Okay, so just to give you an update, at the moment we're in a little bit of profit on the USD JPY. We're around about break even still on the order JPY, and the GBP USD we're in some not heavy drawdown, but we're in drawdown. Slightly bit profit on the odd JPY now. This is going to be the trade for today that I'm doing. There was a continuation of an uptrend. Okay, we broke structure, highs from here, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. We're creating higher low. Now, I'm anticipating, as I say, just bear with me, my alarm's going. Sorry about that. So I'm anticipating a pullback to not sort of exceed this weekly. This was the weekly level. So I'm anticipating to come back towards a 50%. So I'm using a smart way of trading, and I'm edging my bets. Instead of doing an entry at here at the 0.3, I've got entries broken down structure-wise on here, as you can see. Okay, broken down. So I am anticipating a move down. However, if a move was to only come so far down, okay, if a move was only to come so far down into a buy limit and then shoot off to my take profit areas, I've still won. Just because the other ones have not activated doesn't mean I have lost out. It just means those trades have not ended. I have structurally broke down my trading area, my trading zone that I was expecting price to move to. Therefore, it just means if it comes deeper into the field of a zone, it just means I've done that smart. It's a smart way of trading, and it just means I got a deeper discount. Okay, it just means that any previous higher entry points is in a small but tradable sort of entry area, if that makes sense. Now, with me just going on about that just now, okay, as you can see, something's being bought. Okay, we've had something bought at the moment, and then there was a stop loss cancelled. So SL was exceeded on one of the trades. However, I'm not particularly sort of, what's the word? I am not let down by that. It's just I'm managing my trades. Okay, we are in good profits or heading towards good profits at the moment on these two here. That is the update on that at the moment. But so far for today, I am anticipating this one to be my sort of movement to the one that's going to progress my pips. I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. Remember, we started this video at around about £50 profits. We're in a little bit of drawdown at the moment. If this goes south, doesn't matter. It just means I've done this live. I've done it in front of you. I don't care whether it's a winning day or if it's a losing day. I've just shown you the concept of how I trade these fire levels. Okay, and I'll be looking at extra trades throughout the day as well. Okay, guys. So I'm going to stop the share for now. Where we're heading up into around about £4 to £5 of profit. We've just lost a trade, but that doesn't make any huge difference to the balance, to be fair, because we are managing the expectations. Okay, that's what this is about. Overall, with this, if I was to close these out now, I'd only be £1 down. On a 10k account, it's nothing. We're just managing the trades to the key levels. We'll manage them from the key levels. We get to take profits and things like that. You can quickly build your balance up. So £1 on a loss is nothing really. We get these to come in and enter on a deeper discount. Happy days. everyone's a winner. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back shortly. Hey guys, so we'll come back. I'm looking at the GBP USD. I've set some more trades away, to be fair. The Euro USD, again, we're using the method of we're looking for deep discounts, then to come onto the take profits. We're starting to hit some nice profits. We've gone back over where we started with £50 profit from yesterday. We're about £1 and odd profit altogether. Excuse me. However, we're going to look back on the GBP USD again from a daily aspect. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, I did set a buy limit on this. However, when you look at the daily high wick, the daily lower wick, the body of the candle, and the opening of the candle, okay, we broke out of the structure now. We broke out the structure of the daily wick high. So this is going to sort of invalidate that buy limit, in my opinion. So I've took that away. Nothing lost there because it didn't come in to activate. We're going to be going down and taking a look. We've got structure-wise, we broke the structure here on the high, so we'll come up, broke structure. This is on the daily movement. We'll come down 50% of that impulse drive. We'll come up. So at the moment, we're not breaking any sort of structure massively, but we are out of the daily range. Okay, we are out of the daily range. Let's just break it down to the 1 hour. Take a look at that. So you can see now we're clearly out of that the daily wick high. Okay, 15 minutes. We did anticipate a push out, a bounce off, and then a rejection. Now, as you can see, again, key levels. I'm going to say this one more time. Key levels. The yellow is a daily. We've come out, we've pushed, come back to respect the test the area. Look, we've pushed. We've missed a move on this. We've come up. Yes, it's only 10 pips, but look, it's pushed up. It's come back to respect that. So this might sort of push up to the next level up. So what I may do is I'm going to set a buy here. And just take a look, 0.10. Just going to click that in. Grab the stop loss just below here. Take profit to the next area. Okay, and I might have a few other little bits of deeper discount, if that makes sense. So we're just going to go on here, 0.09, because we are setting some limit orders now. We might take a little bit of a quicker bit of profit. We'll do that from here. A couple of trades put in there at the moment. About three, we were at about 50 quid profit yesterday, about £3 odd in profit at the minute. Some nice movements. There's a lot of orders on the table at the moment. Okay, a lot of them might not get filled, but overall, the positions, this is what we've got set and active as live. Okay, nearly 5 quid in profit at the moment. It's all about just working between these areas here. Again, might get a rejection off here and work back down to get us in a little bit of a deeper sort of discounted price. Again, stop loss is just below the key level of the daily wick high, which is the blue here. Okay, but my buy limit is based upon this area here, which is the previous low of the last candle. Okay, bounces off this, it's gonna, if it continues in that upward motion, happy days. It's just going to get us some nice profits. Overall, we're looking around about 7 to 10 pips of stop altogether. If it continues up from the other entry, we're looking at a good 20 to 25 pips. Again, it is sort of heading towards a break even into profit at the moment. If it doesn't come down to touch this area, I'm not worried. If this goes on to continue to hit the next zone, it'll just close out this trade here of the GBP USD. It's just happy days. It just means that the buys and the directional move and what I was looking at has been correct. At the moment, we're now heading into some nice profits with the other trades hitting green. Okay, so pause the video. We'll be back very shortly. Very powerful method, this, guys. Back at it, guys. So that was quick. We're now starting to get our push from the London session. Now heading into some nice profits. We're in just over a tenner of profit at the moment. Again, we might get some deeper discounts soon, but all in profit so far today, which is happy days. The account balance was actually standing down at 44. We took a little bit of a loss this morning, but now we're heading into profits. Okay, again, we'll continue to monitor these. I might take a couple of more trades or set a couple of more up for today, but I'm happy in the preference that I've got my sort of bias, my directional bias set up. I've got everything else set up. It just means if I get a retracement and I start going into a negative one of the other trades, it hits the limit orders on the pendant, it gets me in on a deeper discount, and then I'm anticipating still on a directional basis a continuation and a drive and a push up to either the higher side or to the downside. Okay, the euro, the OGPY, let's have a look at that. That's the one that's got the money at the moment. See how I've got the buy limits here. So we do get a push down and a push back up. We could be what's the word? In fact, I tell you what I could do. We could close off that limit order. We'll close that limit order off. Okay. We'll have, which one is it? That's that. Right, the stop loss of that is there. Just going to bring that stop loss up a bit. Modify that. Right there, that's at a risk-free trade at the moment. Buy limit, I'm going to cancel that one off. Okay, so we're now in a risk-free trade on that. We'll continue with that, nearly a tenner profit. So again, it's all about managing your trade, and I'm doing this while I'm making me dinner as well, to be fair. Let's have a look. So it's easy to do, it's an easy process to follow. We just work between the areas of the key levels, to be fair. Okay, hope you're enjoying the video so far. Please remember, if you're in the Discord channel, put your comments in there in the advanced chat area for any further help, guidance, and whatever else you need. If you're watching this on the YouTube video, you just need to reach out to me. I'll get you inside of the Discord area, where we'll have a plethora of other different styles and things that we trade as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back shortly, see where we are a little bit later. So I'm just about to finish off making me dinner, guys. However, we're in drawdown on all three positions of the euro. Okay, again, looking at it from hindsight on the hour side, it looks like it's going to start taking the liquidity on the higher side here. The reason, the bias of why I was going to be going short was simply because of the daily candle here, obviously within the boundaries. We're looking for a deeper reduction. I'm hoping it's not going to take too much of the liquidity residing up on here. Okay, I'm hoping it's not going to do too much of that. However, I do have a feeling it's going to go to around about 50% of that area, which is the liquidity that resides there. The reason for the downside was just simply because of the huge imbalance areas left behind on here. And if we look at that as a target, we've got monthlies, we've got dailies, and we've got weeklies, key turning points in there. So again, I was anticipating overall the push up into these areas, as you can see here, these areas here, and then the drive down into the lower end. But I was just happy to take profits upon the previous daily candle. Okay, but these are for further targets because of what's left behind from this here. We'll leave it running. I'm not going to worry too much. Again, this is all about forward testing and doing things. Okay, and I do have a little bit of a concern with regards to what's residing here right now. Okay, residing here with the liquidity on this down here. We're starting to come up to grab the buy side liquidity, and then it might give us a drive down. We might find that price itself might drive up, taking out all of this, wicking to here, and then it might crash down to that imbalance. But we'll see what happens. Again, we're going to pause the video, see where we'll go from there. A little bit of drawdown now. I'm not worried too much because I'm just showing you how I look at these and how I trade these on a day-to-day basis. A little bit of a risky on my part in this. Again, in hindsight, I don't hide behind anything. I'm just looking to see what happens with these. Well, there's a lot of buy side liquidity here from the downtrend, if that makes sense. We might see an area where it's going to push into on a nested area of 50% in fairness. Again, we might get the bounce off this. If it does do that, it's going to take out all of our stop losses. I'm not going to raise the stop loss any further. In fact, I might move the stop loss a little bit more, just above the daily wick high. Okay, so the daily wick high, we'll get a bit of protection from the daily wick high, and then from there, we'll just see if it's going to reject off here to bounce down. We might find that again. We might find again that it's going to sort of push and start taking out the buy side liquidity on this downtrend sort of thing, and push to the 50% of the overall sort of chalk block here. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm going to stay with my bias. Again, we don't change the bias. There's a few more orders have come in. Again, that's why we're in a little bit of drawdown, but we'll just let this play out. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to get me dinner and we'll be back in a short while, see how this is played out today. Okay. Again, this is forward testing. It's just a chance for me to show you what I do live, what I do on a day-to-day basis, and then you can sort of follow suit and then put this into practice as well, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video. We'll be back in a moment. Hi, guys. So we're delving a little bit deeper into the Euro USD and what I was talking about just a second ago on the buy side liquidity area, which can hold a lot of stops. A lot of people can get hurt on here. However, because we've done a top-down analysis, we're still inside of the daily range of the previous day's candle. Now, when you look at this, this would have been the open or close. This would have been the close of the daily candle. Okay, that's the wick high. The wick low between the dotted blue lines is the open and close of the daily candle. We've rejected off that nicely, and again, these areas do sort of hold really true to psychological levels. Again, bear on the side of caution. What I've done is I went in with my buy limits or sell limits, I should say, in either area up until this close of the daily. This obviously between here and here would have been the wick. Okay, the stop losses now are just residing above the daily wick high. I'm hoping that all of this will hold structure wise. Again, reason why I've marked off this area is if it does push up into that, it's just going to show you the areas of what I marked where I think it could go to. So if we do hit our stop loss areas and it does go up to here, that is my understanding of why I lost, because the price has now gone to attack the 50% areas of those buy side liquidity within the nested area, if that makes sense. Hopefully, if it holds structure, and that is the bias that I'm staying with, okay? Because when you put a conviction in of your bias, then you need to stay with it. It's pointless moving your take profit and stop losses about. We are working within the daily range, okay? We got in early, okay, and we were in some good profits. However, it's gone deeper into this area simply because it wants to grab more money, okay? So at the moment we are in what I would call the bargain basement of where I can physically get in on a trade on a sell. I do not want to get in any more sell positions. Reason why it's not sort of over traded is simply because on the trade, I only want to risk no more than a 0.30 of a risk, okay? So instead of having a 0.30 of a risk on here, I've split it into 3 separate areas of 0.10. And here we've got what we got here, USD, AUD, USD crossing. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. So we're protecting the overall sort of equity, sort of what I'm going to be risking, if that makes sense. And hopefully we'll get the turn on this and it will start coming down. So I'm not worried about that. I'm going to have these trades going till around about the New York session, to be fair. That was the odd USD, wasn't it? Let's take a look. Odd USD, yes, crossing. Let's take a look. Where are we at? Let's make sure we've got this on blue. Right, so on this one here, we'll go back to the daily. I was looking for a buy limit if it was to come down here. It's crossing over the top of where the take profit area is at the moment. So I'm going to cancel off that buy limit order. From there, we're well out of the previous wick high, wick low of the previous day candles, being a big strong push to the upside, and not only a big strong push out of the upside of the daily range, it's now gone through another key area, which is the weekly key turning point. Okay, so we bring it down. Let's just take a look on this daily at the moment. So highs, lows, lower highs. So this could be a key turning point for it to push down. However, I did see I wanted to see if it was going to kick higher, in fairness. See, we've come down structure-wise, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, 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 high, lower, 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 high. We haven't quite got a lower, lower, but then we broke that structure there, okay? So I was looking at, if this is a reversal, I was looking at the key turning point being down. We go down to 15 minutes, possibly going from this up into the zone. Let's take a look. So we take a buy position from where it's at. 0.10, and then we start looking at deep discounts, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a moment. Go on the buy. Stop loss just below here. Risking a bit there, and we're going to be looking for the area up here. Right, so from there, we're going to be looking at what we call spreading our lot. So instead of going for a 0.3, okay, we've got a range now between here and here. We're going to go to the area of where we had a little bit more of a pullback. So if we go that as a buy position, take profit, stop loss, again a 0.10, hit the buy, let that set up, put our stop loss to just below here. We'll take the take profit, just above the weekly, okay, just above the weekly line. We'll want the overall push on here on the first one overall, okay. If we go into some good profits, we will just move the first stop loss accordingly on a risk-free. And then I'm just going to leave these as two positions. So we've got one live, and we've got one coming down into a deeper bargain basement sort of buy limit, okay? So one is live on here at the moment, the other one's running. So as you can see, we started around about £50 of profit this morning. We've got multiple positions open, and yeah, we've got all our ducks in a row. It started coming to profit again today. If these go into where we need them to go and they hit our TP areas, I can see some good profits being made today. If it doesn't, we just look back and see why the trades failed, to be fair. So that's the odd USD at the moment. The euro, I'm going to go back on the euro USD because I just want to see what's happening with that. The final deep position, as you can see on here, the final deep position of the bargain basement's now into some nice little bit of profit, and then we're heading into where we set our second entry. So again, it looks like it's starting to reverse on itself. It's wicked out over the close of the daily candle. Okay, the wick high, the close of the body of the candle was here. It's rejecting of that nicely. It's starting to come down, and we might start seeing some profits coming in on that as well. So all's doing well. Going on that, I just want to go back up to the hour, and I just want to check the positions that we've got on the fire trades I'm doing. Right, executed, cancelled. So some just cancelled up there. Bought GBP USD. We'll have a look at that in a moment. So the euro USD, I call the euro Great British Pound. I called yesterday is hovering on its entry area for the fire trades. Fire trade on the NZD cards. We're currently been up around about 50 to 60 pips. That's still bouncing up nicely. Very good. The GBP card, it's hovering between just over the 20 pip area, and it's going towards the 40. It's in between there. And then gold, let's have a look. It's between the 30 and 60 area. GBP USD, let's take a look. So I think this is activated. It's activated another trade-off for us, okay. We are heading towards the The daily wick high, the stop losses are just below the daily wick high. It may come down to test the daily wick high and then shoot back off again. Hopefully that's what it is going to do. Might prove us wrong. It might smash back through and into the zone and head back towards where we partly see where we got the pattern here. I was anticipating a push up, a bounce, and then a move up. We've got that. I just think I didn't have my take profits. I think I've got my take profits a little bit high from what it should do. Hopefully this pullback is only just what it's going to be. Holding structure-wise, if we go deeper, I've got the stop loss residing just underneath inside of the daily zone. Okay. Hopefully we're going to get, we've got the low, we've got the high, we've got the higher low, higher high. Hopefully we're just going to be testing into this order block area of this daily wick, the daily wick high, which is the solid blue line. Okay. I'm hoping this is all starting to make sense for you guys. When you see all this and you see these minuses, you've just got to remember it's multiple areas where we've broken down what we would normally trade on a overall lot size. We've just got discounted areas if we get a pullback situation. And again, I'm not concerned. We're still just a couple of pounds down from what we started with this morning, but we've got some good areas and positions set up. So pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. I'm just going to have a cup of tea, guys. Hi guys, so just to close this off, because now we've hit some nice profits. Now we're going up into around about nearly a tenner of profit now from where we first started the day. I've got to get on to another call with a guy who's working on something for me at the moment. So just to go back through what we've got at the moment, we've got a few trades that's in profit at the minute. We had the GB, I think it might have been the Euro USD or the ORD. Might be in the order USD, it closed some profits out, took us up to nearly £60 a profit from a 10k account. We were on £50 profit yesterday. Again, I'm going to stop the video now. You've seen what I do from loading up these trades, moving the daily range of the candle, setting that up and then working from a zone to a zone. At the moment, we're in some nice profit. And I do anticipate that I will be profitable again today. It's just all about having your directional bias, have your directional bias in place. Okay. And then from having your directional bias, it's again managing your trade from an expectation of the direction to go one way. You then look at where the pullback is, what's your protected high and low, and then from there you're working your entries into what you call a discounted entry area. So you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. You're anticipating a potential pullback all the way down to the protected low or to the protected high, but then you're going to factor in limit orders into or from your first port of entry to a further discounted range before it would break structure. Okay, that's the way to do your smart trading. It's not all about just this is your entry, just throw all your lot size onto that. Manage your expectation, manage your trade, see where you're looking to have this head to, have your protection barrier, but within that protection barrier, have your trades from a certain, whatever lot size you're trading on that day, have it broken down into segments so you're getting deeper discount areas. Okay, and that's what it's all about, because at the end of the day, this is about getting the best price. And even if you get your first target area of your entry and then it shoots off the TP, you've still profited. Okay, and just because you've used a lower lot size doesn't mean you lost anything. All it means is if it goes down to your second area or your third area where you've broken it down into 3 areas, okay, and then it continues to the upside, then you have getting what you were going to do just for the one area. It just means you've got a deeper discount on them other 2 areas, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, please click, comment, like, and share. If you're inside the Discord, what I want you to do, use the advanced chat section and the fire levels area to talk about what's went on today. I hope today has been somewhat educational in some way, shape, or form. Even if you take a little something away from today, then it's a job done for me. From there, if you're watching this on YouTube for the first time and you're not inside the Discord, Again, we have a plethora of stuff in there. It's a fantastic area where you can come in and get sorted and trade as a true community, because that's what we've got there. It's a true community of nearly 470 people. I think there's about 467 at the moment. We all learn together, trade together, and we win together. Okay, so I hope this video you've enjoyed today. You need any further help, assistance, or anything, I'm not perfect. I don't stress to be perfect, but one thing I'm consistent, and I've just done what I usually do day to day. I've done it in front of you, and you can see we are profitable. And before we close that out, I'm just going to share the screen. Let's see where we are at the moment. A little bit more drawdown, but we're still in the protected area of profit. Okay, and I'm just going to keep my bias going the way it is at the minute. Okay, because I know it's going to do well, and this is now starting to turn from its daily close high. Okay, so again, guys, my name's been John, Mr. Forex Fire. Need any further help or assistance, reach out. Everything's in the description below. One thing I will say about the description, there's a link in there to click to get funded, to start with a couple of different funded prop firms. There may be something else in there for a GoFundMe page. If you are getting any sort of what's the word? If you are getting any sort of value with stuff that I do, drop a little donation in there for a coffee. It does help, just generally help keep me going. And then from there, there'll be other little bits of links where you will find even more help. Okay, guys. So I will see you all later.